Welcome to another episode of Pure Transparency. We're your hosts,
Agubumi.
Anil Jennings, Emperor.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ataraxis, a place of unity, peace, and growth. Today's topic is knowing your triggers. It's very important to know what triggers you, especially when you're getting to know people and they want to get to know you. And sometimes it's good to know what triggers you and to inform them of your triggers to avoid conflict. But a lot of us have birth triggers from trauma experiences, um, compressed emotions, and then we develop these triggers. And a lot of people sometimes, which I didn't realize I had one until I was talking to somebody that I grew to love, that they were a trigger. And it was just like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. It took another person who was very annoying to be like, yes, that's a trigger. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not a trigger. Yes, it is. Some of us walk around and don't even realize that we have triggers. Um, but I think it's very important that we discuss this today because when you're communicating with a lot of people, especially about a lot of us, because of the pandemic, we've been in our house. You know, you're in your own environment, and we have cabin fever. Now we're getting out. Everybody's going out more. You're getting more um, associated and rekindled with the outside world. We need to know what triggers us, and you need to identify what is a trigger for you. Because now we're being reintroduced to society again. Let's just be honest. We've been on timeout for what, 2 years. So it's very important to you know what triggers you, especially when you're interacting with other people. So by all means, Emperor Nye, please expound on triggers.
All right. Anything can be a trigger, and we all got to understand what a trigger is first before we can acknowledge what triggers us. And what a trigger is anything that takes you out your comfort zone that makes you feel like you need to speak or react on something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's put it like this, like me eating on camera can be a trigger for someone and be like, oh my God. And you can't stay focused on task and be like, dude, why? Why? Someone
Right.
chewing, eating their food and smacking, why they could be a trigger. Someone calling you out your name could be a trigger. You know what I mean? Someone sitting up there and missing your birthday and not saying happy birthday to you. These like subtle signs of trigger. Someone moving too fast, flinching. If you're used to getting abused, that'd be your trigger, right?
True.
Because
True.
then you'll be like this. You're always jumpy. You can always tell kids that get abused a lot because they're always jumpy because they have to. You know what I mean?
They have the
They're,
defense.
they're 12 and 6 have to be on point. So when we think about triggers, right?
Mhm.
We need to acknowledge what triggers us before we can entertain someone else, because then we got to be transparent with the people that we're trying to entertain and say, "Yo, this triggers me." Like when I'm sitting up there and I'm getting to know women, and I say I can't do degrading. Like you can't degrade me. I will go. Like I'm not dealing with that. I've been through that, right? And I don't like that. It bothers me. Or, from being degraded or abused to the subtle one where you're not getting any affection. That's a trigger for me.
Mhm.
Where because I need affection. If I'm going to be around you, I'm like, yo, I need to touch you.
Yes.
It doesn't have to always be sexual. It doesn't have to always be intimate, but it can be like, hey, you're here. Let me,
Mhm.
or because it bothers me if I'm like, the only time I touch you is when I'm taking off your bra, I'm scratching your back,
Mhm.
I'm doing something for you. But I can't get any pleasure out of touching you by like embracing you, holding
Right.
you while you sleep, and you holding me. So these are things we have to understand what bothers us, what send us into a frenzy of not being ourselves, whether that's being pissed off with people, or just want to go off and be by yourself.
Right.
Then
Right.
that's where you can sit over here and be like, this is how to love me. This is how to love me better. And then you can say to yourself, I know how to love myself better. Because a lot of people don't know how to even start or where to even start when it comes to self love, when it comes to self acceptance.
Right.
The things that you've been through in your past doesn't define who you are. Your
Right.
actions and effort into growth defines who you are. Whether you lack trying to better yourself, or you just want to remain stagnant of who you be, that
Right.
defines who you are. And then that defines, after that, that defines who's going to be around you and who's going to stay around you. So when you sit up here and you realize, I'm around a whole bunch of negative people, and then every time I try to do something positive, they give me negative feedback. You have to understand where you are in your mindset
Exactly.
first, that is accepting these people and able to call them friends. I don't care if they family. If they family and they're negative around you, you can still tell them, yo, you over there, I love you from afar.
Right.
You weird to me. Weird will always be weird, and it would never be normal, even
Never.
when you normalize it. So when you get people around you that's always negative, there's no positivity going there. There's no collective. It's just like people telling you, hey, you shouldn't live in that house. That house costs too much for you. But yeah, you be like, oh,
Yes.
I can afford it. I'm gonna work hard to afford it.
Exactly.
Now, if a person say, there's a difference from a person that's saying, yo, you're gonna have to go these avenues to afford that house or that car. Are you up to the task? And you say yes, so all right, go do it, right? Then a person, and then there's another person be like, nah, you can't do that. But there's also, on the flip side, is a person that say, yo, all you have is $20,000. That
Hmm.
car costs $20,000. How are you going to sit up there and have upkeep for that car? Just
Exactly.
because you got it, just because you have $150,000 doesn't mean you can go out and get a Lambo. Just because you can buy one, because that don't mean that you can go and afford it. And what
Yeah.
about the upkeep? What about the gas?
Exactly.
You know, and the
Exactly.
relationships is the same way. If you sitting over there just because you can score that man or woman, right? You got to think about the upkeep. Think about
Exactly.
it. Are you there for their mental, emotional, physical upkeep? Can you keep and maintain that person? No, then don't go and pursue that person. Doesn't matter if they're in the church. Doesn't matter if they're in the business. Doesn't matter if they're in the streets. Guess what? You're gonna go through, if you're not ready for that person, and the upkeep of that person, what it takes for the upkeep of that person. I'm not talking about you financially upkeeping them. I'm talking about emotionally upkeeping them. I'm talking about physically upkeeping them and financially upkeeping them,
Yes.
spiritually upkeeping.
Yes.
So these are the same thing, whether it's you doing it materialistic or you sitting up there doing it with people to people. You have to understand the upkeep of the person, and not only them, you have to understand your own upkeep. Because the moment you forget about yourself and you just worried about upkeeping other people, that's when you sitting up there, you're gonna lose yourself. Then
Exactly.
everything start coming crashing down, and then what? You're going to sit up there, you did it all for nothing. So you have to understand our triggers and what defines us, and what sit up there will have your great day all of a sudden turn into a bad day.
Wow. Wow.
You know? So
Yeah. And I think too, to me, what I think is to our demise as well as people that would have triggers is that you think that you're over something until you have a conversation with somebody new and they say things that's familiar, and then I don't know
mhm.
where vomit, you react. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, that was a trigger for me, not realizing that it was. and being honest in that moment, like, oh shit, like you know what I mean? Not to even take that out on you. I don't know where that came from. Yet what it came from is that you never addressed the issue. You always compress it in order to move
Mm.
forward. And you know you have to act a certain way because your behavior wouldn't be accepted. So it's just like you
Right.
have to understand what triggers you to the degree of emotional response. Because some people
Right.
can go 0 to 10 out of nowhere. And a person can simply say, you know, how you doing? No cap.
Hmm.
I was working out with some of my gym partners, and this guy is like Mr. Rogers of the gym. He goes around, he talks to everybody, right? So he asked this one guy, he asked him the same thing, hey, are you okay? How are you? And the guy flips out on him. Why do you always ask me if I'm okay?
Hmm.
And we just like, whoa. All he asked was, were you okay? But that's what I'm saying. The compressed feelings and the things that you're going through. Somebody like me don't know what you're going through. All I'm doing is speaking. So why are you attacking me? Asking if he was okay was a trigger for him. So it's just like I think
Or
we. Mhm.
that whole man existence is a trigger for him
Oh.
because as you just stated, right? That man is happy and always asking people, are they okay?
Hmm.
Some people would look at and they envy other people because why? Those people are always happy. And
Always have.
why I can't be happy?
And
Why
why?
my life suck? Why this and that and third? But they don't realize those people like me, I go around and hey, everybody always like, oh, you always happy. I don't wear, you know what I mean, my chinks of my armor on my armor, you
Yeah.
know. But I
Yeah.
also know how to decompress my day to say that situation happened in that moment. I'm not going to carry it throughout my day. You know, so a lot of people don't want to do that and do the work to get there. So they want to be like, I don't know why you so happy. Why your relationship? Oh, you know, that's them people that be like, oh, your relationship ain't that good. They be waiting. Oh, I knew he was going to cheat on her. I
Huh?
knew it.
Ain't
I
this right?
knew she was going to cheat on him.
As
Da,
soon
da,
as
da, da, da. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
So
I'm saying right.
it's no. Go ahead and say what you're saying. I was just saying maybe it's just that person, and you know you don't even have to do nothing. You know they just envy your personality. They envy how happy you are. They envy that you got a good woman. They envy that you got a good man. Your man
Mm-hmm.
might be ain't shit. Your man might have trials and errors, but guess what? He makes sure that you're taken care of.
Exactly.
That
Ex-
woman makes sure you're taken care of. Make sure that you're good. And they want to do anything and everything to sit up there and to make sure you separate so you can get down on their level and say, see, you ain't no better than me. You get what I
mm,
mean? They want to wait till you know, let you get promoted. You know, you think that you friends with someone on a job. Let you get promoted. Then all of a sudden your friendship, your work friendship is no longer there. Why? Because now they envy that you got promoted over them, you know, because they only think about them. They're not happy for you. And I'm not speaking for everybody, I'm speaking for some people. But
right.
you growing is a trigger for them because they feel like they should grow. This called conditions. They like you under conditions. Some
Yeah.
people like you under certain conditions that they put you in. And if you expand beyond those conditions, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Then there's oh now it's competition when it shouldn't be competition. We supposed to be in this together.
Right.
Sometimes it's in the household. You can sit up here and be in a monogamous relationship or a poly relationship and let one or two people start winning in life. Let your partner start winning in life. Sometimes the partner sit up there. Why is not me? Why am I not making more money than you?
But
Why is this? Why are you so happy? Why everybody is always around you but nobody around me? Why is it so easy for you to have friends when we just moved to this place or anywhere we be at and I don't have
oh,
friends?
whoa, that's too much. Like, what do you mean? Here's the
Yeah.
thing: if you're in a party situation, it's us. We got
Mm-hmm.
promoted. We got more money. So
Mm.
I'm confused why you're all of a sudden it's a signal is you're singling me out from everybody else. And once again, those are compressed issues that you had. It ain't had nothing to do with me. That's something that you got going on with you, and you're responding by my events in life, and you're
Right.
angry at the wrong person. And here's my thing too: you're triggered by something that you can actually get up and do yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Take the same measures, but once again, if you're not honest about where you at in life, anything and everything that somebody does is going to irritate the crap out of you because you're not honest with yourself. You need to
Right.
go back. You need to figure that out and point that out. But once again, to me, people with triggers are people with loaded gun. It's like having a loaded gun, and sometimes that
Mm-hmm.
gun misfires. You're bringing
True.
something out of me that it didn't have anything to do with me. But once again, knowing thyself, and then only that, when it comes to you feeling like, okay, this is about to go left, instead of falling into succumbing to the feeling, unplug. Like, I know certain personalities I can't be around. I'm just gonna be
Mm-hmm.
honest. I do not like the damsel in distress. I do not like somebody that act like they're that they are airhead. Can't stand that.
Right.
That is a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand a bully
Mm-hmm.
at all, and I cannot stand an ignorant person. Like, you just straight out disrespectful, ignorant. Those are my triggers. I know these are my triggers. So when I get
Mm-hmm.
around those things, either I remove myself or I separate myself. I go to the other side of the room, but still being nice. I'm not acting
Right.
all towards you, but I know I can't be in your presence long because I'm gonna be looking at my boo like, babe, and my sister like, I can't do this. I know me, and you like, take your emotion out of it. I am. That's why I'm separating myself. But it's just it's one of those things. You got to know who you are. You got to know where you're at in life, and you got to know what bothers you, and you can make
Mm-hmm.
more decisions about it, and you can choose better your circle too. Let's just be honest. Like, certain people, parents triggers them. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody yells at you, automatically you're triggered because of the trauma you have endured. But once again, you got to be honest with yourself because I don't know what your triggers are. That's like me
Right.
calling you outside of your name. Didn't know it was a trigger for you. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized it was a trigger for you because I seen somebody that is usually happy, down to earth, always cracking jokes and smiling, went from 0 to 10, literally. And I'm like, I don't know
But
him.
that's the crazy thing about it is people don't understand, and this is the most truest thing that you will ever hear. Whoever you choose to be around, you
Mhm.
become. If you be around the thief, and it's okay being around that thief, sooner or later you're going to start to steal. And some people going to be like, "No, I won't," but sooner or later you're going to start to do it. Like there's a saying, if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you, right?
That's
So
that's
the thing about it is, that's why when people be like, "Yo, I don't even argue," right? But if you get with a person that's argumentative and you don't dial that in, right? Because some people are hard to dial in. Like they don't think they think they're Jesus and wine. They
I'm
walk
trying
on water, and nothing they do is
to
wrong. It's everybody else's fault, right? So
right.
you gotta, and I used to think that way. I used to be like, no, no, no. But I had to sit up here and be like, nah, I could have done this better. So, and I always tell people in every situation, you are wrong, right? Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter who you are, you're wrong. If you're sitting there arguing with someone, you're wrong. You're doing something wrong to add to the argument. So that makes both parties or everybody involved wrong. You just have to own up to where you went wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
how you correct the situation. So when you're with someone that's argumentative, that's combative, that the only time they happy is when you're miserable, right? That's when you sit up here and you say, "Yo, this ain't the right situation for me."
It's not.
And you can always test that situation, because there are people that you can't ever talk to, you can't have a conversation with, because in any conversation you're wrong to them. You don't know no better. You stupid. You lack of knowledge. All that. You can sit up there and have your opinion. Your opinion grinds their gears. Your opinion triggers them. Them people don't want. They don't look at you as, it doesn't matter if it's your husband, your wife. It doesn't matter if it's your best friend, mom, pop, brother, sibling, whatever. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They don't look at you as intelligent. They look at you as inferior, right? It's just like that older sister, older brother complex, where most older siblings, no matter how old you get, think you don't know life. I've been having conversation with my brother sometime, and then I sit up there and start talking. They be like, "No, no, 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 nigga, you need to do this research." No, I know this. I know I might be younger, but I ain't stupid. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying? Or you get those people that be like, "Oh, you think you know it all?" No, I don't think I know it all. I just know I ain't dumb.
Understood. Totally understand that.
When people use narratives as, oh, I'm sorry, I went out. But when people use narratives as, you think you know it all,
Hmm.
or as soon as you start talking, oh, you get what I mean? That's triggers for them, because they don't see you as high on the pedestal. They see you as inferior. Like you're supposed to be seen and not heard.
Like kids.
When you're with a partner, yeah, when you're with a partner that will listen to you when you talk, they'll listen. Whether you wrong or right, they'll tell you you're
True.
wrong. You know what I'm
That's
saying? But they'll listen to you.
true.
That's a
Hmm.
person that respects you. If a person doesn't respect you, they're gonna oh, every time you open your mouth. Doesn't matter what you open your mouth about. You be sitting up there, hey baby, you want milk? Oh, nigga, I ain't ate today. I don't eat
What do
breakfast.
you want?
You know what I'm saying? Are you coming to bed, babe?
No.
You and your controlling self. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you say irks their nerves, because you are their trigger, not what you're saying. You are.
Wow.
That you. A lot of people don't realize you can be someone's trigger. If you put a person through a lot,
Mm.
if a person been through a lot, right, and they didn't let that go, and you done something they feel that you mess up, you're their trigger. No matter what you do, they're gonna be aggravated about it. They might love and care about you, but guess what? You're still their trigger, and you have to make a choice and say, all right, am I going to work with this person through this, or am I going to leave? Because
Mm.
sometimes you can't work through that. Once a person perceive you to be something, that's what you are to them, until
Hmm.
you split up,
That's
till you
true.
exit out of the situation. As long as you stay there, you will remain a cheater, whether you cheating or not. Let me say
Hmm.
that again. As long as you stay in that predicament, whether you cheating or not, if they see you as a cheater, you are a cheater. They see
That's
you as a thief, you're a thief.
that's true. That's
If
true.
they see you as, hey, you supposed to be my wife, and you supposed to make me happy. That's all they see. They don't see your happiness. They only see their own. And if you're not pertaining to their happiness, they ain't worried about that.
Right.
If you're not containing to where they think that you should be in a relationship, they ain't worried about that. This is why you have a lot of controlling going on, like people are children, because they don't want to be in a relationship with you. They just want to dominate you and control you. And if you don't, that's their trigger. And then sometimes you get into those relationships and they'll be abusive, mentally, physically, emotionally. They try to put you back where they feel comfortable, where you are uncomfortable.
Exactly.
And that's all because in some point in their life, they had no control. So they vow to themselves to have control, and it's not about you. Whether if you're in a marriage, if you're in a relationship, and you feel like it's emptiness, you're with a person that knows, like for a fact, that doesn't put into you, or they put in 25%. 25%. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. Why 75% you putting in, but they only put back in 25%, and you give your all to them. You would feel like an empty shell.
You would.
They'll sit up there and they'll buy you something because you're fussing, not because they want to. They buy it to shut you up. They'll do things to shut you up, not because they want to. So your happiness is not there. So then in turn, they are triggered by your response to their lack of action. So now it's like, oh, they're always nagging, but they don't see why you're nagging about.
True.
Always complaining, but they don't see what you're complaining about. They only see
True.
that you're complaining. So let me do this to stop your complaining, so that way I can go back and I can go back and minimizing again.
Hmm. That's true though. That's true though. I don't know. Um, a person can. It's a lot of people. It's not funny. I laugh at it now. I remember I was working with the disabled and mentally disabled, and
Hmm.
I was upset about something that happened on the floor, and I was just I came down like that's retarded. How insensitive that word is, but I was like, you know what, that's retarded, and she like lost her shit. You would have thought I called or something to that, to that degree. But I thought about
Hmm.
it. And what did I say that was so wrong? And I said that's retarded. And people are offended by that word because she could have had a family member. I don't know. You know what I
Right.
mean? Who knows? But it was so out of pocket, and I was just like, you know what? I apologize because she really lost her shit. And I'm sitting there, and your first response, right? Like, I didn't say that, did you? But then
Right.
I'm think like, okay, you just emotional. Either one of your family members are this, or your friends. So let me apologize quickly because now I realize that I triggered you. Not meaning to, but I recognize it, and instantly I
Right.
apologize to her because, like I said, you don't know what a person is going through in life, and then, like I
Hmm.
said, somebody flipped out on somebody for saying hello. Come on, and I think this is something that we need to address, especially once again we're going right back into the world. Slowly but surely, everything is getting open again. We
Right.
have to be mindful of those things. Them are like walking bombs waiting to explode. So
Right.
yeah, we gotta be mindful of that. Gotta be.
It's like being with someone, and I want to level it like this. If you don't check your triggers, it's not
Hmm.
only do you have one trigger, you add on triggers. If you don't decompress throughout relationship after relationship after relationship, or even sometimes being in a relationship, but you're going through trauma after trauma after trauma, right? Arguments, misunderstandings, and you're not decompressing not only by yourself, but also decompressing together for understanding. What happens is you're building up all these triggers, all these triggers, all these triggers, and then all of a sudden you're a landmine,
Right.
and you become a landmine to a person that's unexpected, and then you just
Right.
lash out on them physically,
Exactly.
mentally, emotionally. And if you look at it within our community, I mean, landmines are out there a lot. I remember, me being in my early 20s, right? And I'm just gonna be honest, like 2006 was the worst year of my life. Still
Mm.
to this day, 2006. And I didn't have zero accountability. Zero. I just looked at life was fucked up and it was going terrible. Right?
Wow.
So So, you know what I mean? And this was after Hurricane Katrina. And I'm not talking about the damn going what was that? The hurricane?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the hurricane, I'm talking about my baby mama. Hurricane Katrina, the same day, attacked me, and I was not in New Orleans. Okay? Hurricane
What?
Katrina fucked me up for
No.
4 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days. All right? I'm just letting you know. I should have received a check from Hurricane Katrina, even though I
There-
wasn't in New Orleans. That's what I'm saying.
fir- First
So,
things
make
first.
a long story short. Make a long story short.
What?
So, what it is when in 2016, I sat over there and I kept getting pulled over and ticket for everything. Wrong turn, missing stop sign. I was just like, cops fucking with me. Cops fucking with me. I'm not doing nothing. And then it was like, relationship was bad. Hell, I found out a woman was pregnant that I had a one night stand with. It wasn't mine. So it was, but I wasn't being accountable for my moves. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't
Wow.
being accountable. I was making reckless decisions that I wasn't holding myself accountable for. So I was always angry, always angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like walking around with all these triggers. Every little thing pissed me off. Fuck out of here. Da cussing people off left and right. Fuck, I don't give a fuck. Fuck, da. And you know what I'm saying? And I had to wake up and say, I'm doing this to myself. Like and that's the hardest conversation to ever have is to be real and legit with yourself
Yes.
about you fucking up. It's not
Yes.
about nobody else. It's about you. What
Exactly.
are you doing? Are you sitting up there and you saying, all right, I'm putting up with a nigga that I'm putting up with a dude that says fuck me with his actions? Or am I putting up with a woman that says fuck me with her actions? You people don't have to say fuck you with their words. People can say fuck you with their actions daily. You know when people fuck with you and when they don't. People are
You do.
not, you're not slow. You get what I'm
You.
saying? And then when
You.
you getting upset and saying, yo, these things that these people are doing is triggering me, but you sitting up there and staying around it. You're sitting up there putting up with it. You've been putting up with it for months, weeks, years. And you trying to tell me it's somebody else's fault? No, it's not. It's yours. Because you haven't sat down and had a real conversation with yourself where you was fucking up and why are you staying with that type of person? Hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable when you sitting up here and you like, yo, if if my relationship fucked up because I won't budge, or I
Yeah.
won't move.
Yes.
Is my relationship fucked up because I go out the house too much because I prioritize, my priority is my day ones that was there before my relationship. That's my priority. But those friends always going to be around. You get what I'm saying? Like that's stupid. Why would you even be in a relationship? Be in a relationship with your friend,
Right.
Or my priority is working for a job, working for a job. You know what I mean? That dictates when I can be home and when I can't. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. You can tell your job no. If you spending way more time at work, all you was signed on to do was 40 hours a week. If they said there mandatory overtime, nobody have to. Man, listen. You can say, dude, I ain't doing no overtime. Nah, mm-mm. I've been
Right.
doing overtime for you for 3 weeks. That fourth week is my family. Fuck out of here. You got to
Right.
prioritize your family. You know what I mean?
It's
You got to prioritize your partner. You got to prioritize your kids. You got to prioritize yourself. And if you not doing none of that, then you're adding on triggers subconsciously and mentally, emotionally, and physically because you don't choose to step out of that lane. But go ahead.
and crossing lanes can be hard too,
Hmm.
especially when you're not in being openly honest with yourself. Me personally, like I said, I thought I was always mild tempered. I always thought that I pretty much addressed everything that comes up,
Mm-hmm.
and then for me myself to have been triggered in my later years of life, like in my younger years, for sure, I had triggers. But to be triggered when you think that you have ironed out all that needs to be ironed out that you felt like was in your past, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have that one person that you care about, but all of a sudden they saying stuff at you and you like, yo, that's not it. That's not it at all. And then I'm triggered. But I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
why am I triggered? What made me trigger? What made me go to that extreme? What am I upset about? Why am I scared to lose control? And why do I feel like I had to check him for what he said to me? And post just looking at him like, I'm gonna let that slide. You see what I'm saying? Why do
Mm-hmm.
we give into that feeling? And I don't know. It just sometimes there's no coming back from you responding to that trigger. You end up losing a lot of relationships. You end up
Mm-hmm.
losing a lot of opportunities. You end up losing that one person that you feel like you can live without. Now all of a sudden you have to learn how to live without them because you weren't honest about where you were at mentally when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
triggers. And I think
Sometimes,
that mhm,
no, go ahead. You think what?
I'm I'm done.
No, go ahead. No. Hmm? No,
You
what you
have
was about to say? You think what?
you have the floor. You good?
Oh. No, I was just saying sometimes people triggers can always come in ways that we don't know it,
That's true.
right? And
That's,
just picking back off of what you're saying, it's like, you know, some people can't, they don't really know if they can live with you or without you yet because they got so content with you that they're not actually paying attention to being with you. You
mm,
know, they cruising, right? And just like certain men and some women too, they let you go into an argument, right? Their
mm-hmm.
survival comes. So survival for men and women is two different things,
That's
right?
true.
So a survival for women is more of, all right, we get into arguments, whatever. I gotta focus on me, and I might be single. So I'm going to start building like I'm single, even though I'm still in the damn relationship. Survival for a man is this. Oh, we argue a lot. Now I need to focus on me and go and start entertaining other women because
Mm,
now I need a fallback. I need a fall on. You get what I'm saying?
exactly.
And I'm not saying one is good or the other because women going to thinking that you're single in a relationship, you can once you start thinking about you can never come back for that. Just like men. Men, once we start entertaining, other women, whatever, and the sad thing about it, we entertain majority of the time women that is like 20 times less than the woman that we're seeing. And less in brain cells, less in beauty, less in finance sometimes. Like it be all less,
Yeah.
but we think that is better now because they do one thing, the one thing you're missing. You know what I mean? It might be affection, it might be they pay attention to your bullshit. You get what I'm saying? And then we
Mm-hmm.
risk it all for that because of that one trigger of, oh, we argue a lot. You don't agree with me. You don't, I need somebody to agree with me. But you might do everything else that I need. But that
Nothing.
that one, I need someone to agree with me is worth everything else. So these are triggers that we gotta understand because we be risking it all just because we're triggered. And it doesn't make sense. There's no common sense in it.
It's
We will sit up there, we will sit up there and say, fuck a person. The one person that is for us, the one person that would be laid up in the hospital with us if we was in the hospital. while all your besties and your bros and all that stuff always talking about we'll stick by you, right? But they always living their life. They ain't rocking with you. They like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, I gotta go on this date. While you alone. Oh, you shouldn't be with them. You shouldn't da 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 da. But I ain't seen not one of them come and be like, yo, here's a good girl for you. Here's a good man for you. You
Absolutely
know what I'm
not.
saying?
Hmm.
No. Because well, let your ass get into a good relationship. They're gonna try to sabotage. They're gonna be around you all the time trying to sabotage that. Oh hell nah. Yeah, but if your ass in a fucked up situation, what they gonna do? They're gonna sit up there and oh, it's sorry that you're going through that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand not only what your triggers are, you gotta understand what's your friends' trigger. Because sometimes your friends and your family's triggers is seeing you happy. And they were like,
Yes.
how dare
Talk
you be
about
happy?
it. Yes.
And I ain't get this happiness. Hell nah. So not everybody that's smiling in your face want what's best for you. Hell, sometimes you don't even want what's best for you. You think
Yeah.
everybody that want what's best for you is being a hater. You know, I
Yeah.
just feel like this. If you failing, you ain't got no money, you always in messed up situation after messed up situation, and people is telling you about yourself and saying you need to stop doing this or you need to stop doing that, and you don't want to listen to them, don't ask them for no help. If you're not willing to listen to other people, that you're asking for money, that you ask for a place to stay, that you
Man.
asking for them to watch your children. Do
Man.
not sit over here and say you're gonna watch my kids under my guidelines and you got some badass kids. No, I don't want them no badass kids at my house. Nah. They jumping on my furniture and shit. Like, nah. I'm gonna beat them. Oh, you don't beat my then keep those kids out there. We beat. I hold a sign. I bust ass in this house. So let them jump over, Like I had a neighbor, seriously. And the saddest thing about it, I ain't going I ain't gonna say what she was. She was Caucasian, but I have a neighbor that sit up there,
What?
her kids come up seriously. So her kids come up to my house to play with my kids, my children, right? They respect the rules, they respect the house, respect their manners. They go back home, don't respect their mom and
No.
their stepdad, don't do none of that shit. They
No.
just and they would literally say when we go to Mr. Anil house, we have to remove because he will bust our ass. Yeah, damn right. Or don't bring your asses up here. I said I don't play no games. Don't go in my refrigerator. Don't go in my kitchen. Don't do nothing without it. Even if you want a bottle of water, I don't give a damn. It's right there. Ass. It's not yours.
It's not yours. Oh my God.
It's damn right. So, but my thing about it is, we as people need to sit up here and to understand, you know, all right, not only yourself and your triggers and who you are, you got to understand who your children are. You got to understand who your parents are, who your siblings, who your friends. If I sit over here and I can't bring my sibling or significant other around my sibling because they gonna talk some weird shit about like I stopped bringing um women around my grandmother, right, over to my grandmother's house, right, and I wouldn't bring every woman. It'd be the ones I was feeling, but then I stopped because every time she had this stupid ass story, right, and the stupid ass story was that ain't the girl you brought last time. I said shit, that was 10 years ago, grandma. Really, this is what you gonna bring? You fucking up. This is why I don't bring people around here. You know what I mean? But I understood my grandmother. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she loves starting conflict. That was her. She liked starting conflict. And she'd do things and then be in the middle and just watch. That was her. That's what
Laugh
she did.
and
But
laugh.
that's what people do. They will sit over here and think that they ain't do nothing. They'll start to rumble and then step out and then look at y'all two go. And I'm like, man, I mean, just like that SpongeBob meme. Oh, time to go. You just got here. Nah, I've been here too long. Oh,
Wow,
oh,
for
oh,
sure.
your grandmom's nice. Yeah, you don't know what she was trying to do. But we have to we have to understand, like,
Your
and
own
it's
family.
the same thing. It's the same thing as cheating, right? Now, look, I want to say this, right? I understand cheating is wrong. Cheating is wrong. Okay, before anybody go ham. But I understand being deceptive is wrong. But the problem is this, and this is what bothers me, is when whether it's a man, there's more women that do this. There's more women that do this than men, but men out there do this fuck shit too. If a person that your spouse cheated on you with knock
Uh-huh.
on your fucking door or
Excuse
find you
me.
on Facebook, huh? You said what? Okay. But find you on Facebook or whatever, right? And they sit up here and they tell you, I was fucking with your partner.
No, you weren't.
Or they tell you, your partner was trying to entertain me. Or they tell you any kind of thing, right? The one thing that you should say first is, why is this person contacting me? People don't
Why?
think like that. All of a sudden, now y'all new bestie. As if people can't be vindictive, you know? And
Exactly.
I'm like, listen,
Exactly.
listen, I can honestly tell you this, right? So 3 years ago, I sat over
Right.
here and I'm not even gonna say rekindled. Like I met back up with someone I used to see, right? And we stopped talking because I was going out of a relationship. Like the relationship was over, right? But it was like it wasn't over, but it was over, right? So it been over for like 3 months, but we were still kind of talking, but it was over, right? So me and this other woman, we was talking for 2 months. Okay, we was just chit chatting on the phone or whatever, whatever. Then one day she ended up finding out. What? Why are you laughing at me? Look, check it
Okay.
out. So
Whatever
what?
or
One
whatever.
day, yeah. So one day she ended up finding out about my ex, and my ex wanted me back. So my ex was like, "We're still together, and we're this and that." And I walk in the room, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Oh, you talking to this girl? I said, yeah, I'm talking to this girl. We're not together. So I'm talking to the new one. I'm like, yo, and I'm saying that right in, like, yo, we're not together. You get what I'm saying? And yes, we are. We working on things. No, we're not working on
No, we're
things.
not, bro.
Right?
Right.
So she hung up on me, blocked me, and all that. It's like, fuck it. It is what it is. People don't know my fuck it is real smooth. I understand I'm cool and I'm about my business. So and she was like, "Oh, you gonna talk to another woman?" I said, "Yeah, we're not together, right?" And I was like, "I thought we was cool, but we're not together." And I said, "I see now we're not cool. You trying to get back in, and I can't do that, right?" So the weird shit that this woman did, and we talking about triggers, right? She realized she was losing me. Guess what she did?
What you do?
Called the cops on me. Yep, and good thing it was a Nubian woman cop that came, and I was like, and I didn't even know that she called him, right? Because I was getting like I was bringing her stuff over to her house, and I was taking my stuff out of her house. You get what I'm saying? You know how you gathering everything up, yeah. So what ended up happening was the Nubian cop came and she was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "What you doing here? What happened?" And she was like, "We got a call of a domestic." What? So then, and she's sitting up there and she crying. I'm like, "Oh hell nah! It's definitely over now. I don't even want you fucking talking to me." And I was like, "Shit." And so the cop was like, "Yo, calm down, calm down." I said, "Nah." I said, "You want to know what the fuck is going on?" I said, "All these black niggas out here dying." I said, "You could be a racist ass cop." I said, "Good thing we got you, but you could have been a racist ass cop." That wanted boop, boop, and I could have been shot. Why? Because she felt like I was leaving. Because she was like, man, I'm man, fuck out of here. I said, now I don't want to talk to you. We ain't cool, right?
Get out.
So make a long story short. Make a long story short.
Mm-hmm.
And about 20, what's that? 2019.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, I end up seeing on Facebook the female that blocked me, right? The woman that blocked me, and whatever, whatever, whatever. No, and I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing to her. I was like, all right, cool. She ended up reaching out to me, and we hashtag that situation. And I told her, I was like, yeah, I understand. I said, I didn't mean to hurt you or whatever, whatever. But I wasn't with her. We wasn't having sex. We wasn't doing this. We wasn't doing that. We wasn't together, right? And I said I was trying to tell you that we wasn't together in front of you, like while you was on the phone, while I was in front of her. I was like, it is what it is, like, dude. So she forgive me. You know, I forgave her for whatever, leaving, whatever. I was whatever. I was like, yo, we ain't going to pursue no relationship, but we're going to be friends, right? Now, remind you, I'm married at this time. Okay, at this time I'm married. So I was like, cool, whatever. And, you know, I told her the situation. Like, I'm married. Now, at this time, though, it was kind of shaky. It was kind of shaky because I just had a situation, you know what I'm saying, that didn't turn out right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, yo, we going through an issue. And everything is up to daisy now, right? So I was like, all right, you know, so me, she was like, it's cool. You know, I said, look, I'm just being transparent, right? So I'm sitting over there, boom, boom, boom. We just friends, and I'm showing her me doing my son's locks. You know, we just chilling, we just talking, right? There's no sex, there's no sexual conversations. There's just friendship, right? This heifer. So one day I sat over here, and I'm over my sister-in-law house, and you know we talking on the phone, and I'm gagging, like I'm coughing up, like you know, congested, and she's so into teas and all that other stuff. She was like, yo, I don't mind bringing you something. I said, nah, I'm good, I'm good. She said, listen, I don't mind bringing you something. I said, all right, cool. So she brought me over some tea, right? Cool.
Did she?
So she did. So about 3 weeks later, she
Uh-huh.
go back to my sister-in-law house to tell them we was having sex, we was fucking up, we was doing this, we was doing that, blah 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 blah. And I didn't know, cause I was like, cause me, I understand vibrations. I just was like, oh, she's not talking to me like that. Fuck it. If she's not calling me, I ain't gonna call her. I'm good, right? That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, you know, she was just like when my mother-in-law called my wife and whatever, and it was just like, you know, I'm upset because this woman said Anayo, her and Anayo was sleeping together, da, da. And I'm, you know, more, and I was confronted about it. I was like, somebody owe me some pussy because I ain't get that pussy. Somebody owe me some motherfucking pussy. Don't sit up there and tell me we fucked and I ain't fucking. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Somebody, if I'm going to go through this shit, somebody owe me some goddamn pussy. And I was just being honest. I was like, yo, we were just cool. And but I said all that to say, sometimes people aren't in your life as you think they are.
Right.
Sometimes people hold on to shit, right? And that's their trigger. So when they see you, I need to get you back. You made me feel like this at this time. I need to fuck up your shit. I
And
need
that's
to get
real.
you back. I need to hurt you. You know what I mean? But they don't realize nothing hurts me. I'm the least motherfucker that said I'm good. Go on with my business. And guess what? The only person I control in this world is myself. I don't control my kids. I don't control my mama. I don't control my daddy. I don't control my siblings. I don't control no woman. I don't control the universe. The only thing I do is control this universe. That's it, and keep it moving. But people don't
Right.
understand that. People like to have control over everything. And that's why they miss out in life. My thing about it is I can only continue to work on myself. I
That's
can only continue to work on how I react to people and how I act to people. I didn't even get upset. I just was like, somebody owe me some pussy because I ain't do that. And if you gonna be mad, if you gonna be mad and you want to feel like that, that's cool. That's you. Because I ain't
right.
got shit to do with that. Because I know I ain't fuck her. I wish because she had a fat ass, and you know what I mean. I fucked her before. She had some good coochie, but goddamn, I ain't fuck her. You know what I'm saying? Somebody owe me some coochie. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be bitched at, if I'm going to be paraded upon or doing this, I want to reap the benefits of that, so I can say it proudly. Yeah, I ain't shit. You know,
Damn.
like Lil
The
Duval
pride.
said. Huh? Duval said. He said Duval ain't shit. She already knows that. But damn, nigga, let me get some coochie. God damn, first before you go and say, oh, I fucked you. Like, no, I didn't.
Let me get
I
it.
didn't. Yeah,
That,
like, but we gotta be careful about who we allow in our lives and who is parading around with titles as best friends, titles as my partner, my lover, my husband, my wife. We have people parading around and they haven't even earned
they
these damn
haven't.
titles,
They
and
haven't.
then they don't
Haven't.
sustain it, or if they do earn it, they don't sustain it and keep it. I got you. I'm going about my business. I can just fall off now, and that's not right. But go ahead.
I don't even know how to follow up with that.
I just went on a tear, but damn, yeah. I'm just saying.
I'm sitting here like, damn. I don't know. I think too. I think you do have to be careful about the people that you have in your life, and they always are disguised as something else. But when a situation, like you said, when a situation opposes itself, you see the true person for who they are, especially when they don't get nothing out of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know what's is entertaining to me? You have a lot of stories.
Oh yeah. I've been through a lot of shit. Sometimes I put myself through the shit, and sometimes it was there.
And
You know.
I'm
But
and I'm laughing at your pain. I'm Kevin Hart in this. I'm laughing at you know what I mean. It's just, but
it's all right. Mm.
it's
It's
it's like it's
there's no
innate.
growth without lessons.
None, right? And it's a name. Like you have to be careful about who you're entertaining and what you're entertaining, and pay attention to the red flags because they're there. We just so tunnel vision on what we want in life, right? That we
Hmm.
really not paying attention to the red flags. And in that saying that, like I have had instances too where I've been accused of cheating, and I'm like,
Hmm.
damn, like if I'm gonna be accused, I might as well get out here and do it. Like, but no, I'm
Right.
like loyal to your big head ass. Like, no, I'm not
Hmm.
into any of that. And but that used to trigger me too though, because I hate to be accused of something that I did not do. And you're so
Right.
adamant that I did it. And I'm like, yo, I don't even, first of all, I'm insulted because I don't even roll that way. And second of all, I'm like, well, damn, that's how you feel? Like, you know
Somebody
what I mean?
owe you some dick.
God, and it better
You
be
gotta
better
say
than
you
yours.
gotta say good dick. You gotta say good dick because men, we could just say coochie. It doesn't matter if it's good or trash. We still going nuts. So y'all gotta get some good dick because if it's terrible, there ain't no point.
It ain't.
Somebody else.
It's a waste of effort. That is
Waste of effort. I
it's
know what you mean.
it is.
I
It
know
really
what you.
is. And but to be accused, and then I think that's my trigger now though, like being accused of things that you know you didn't do, and then people's like adamant about it, and then like people that you love are believing these very people, and it's like, yo, but they're lying though, and I'm telling the truth. So it's like,
Mhm.
what the fuck is going on here? But like, I don't
But
know. I just
with
you have,
that, with that, with that right there, and this is just me. I learned that you don't have to prove yourself for nothing. You don't have to prove yourself because even you could do whatever you want to do to try to prove yourself. If a person do not want to see it, they're not going to see it. If they,
I don't.
you can juggle apples and oranges. Why, while you sitting on a unicycle rolling on the elephant, and they're gonna still see you standing in bullshit. You get what I'm
Literally,
saying?
literally.
So my thing about it is, I learned, it's even like being with people that's insecure, right? If they've
Mm.
been hurt and they holding on to that pain, they see every man as a cheater. So they're gonna treat you like a cheater. And then for the first year, 2 years, you're gonna try to be like, nah, I'm not a cheater. I want to show you, I want to show you, I want to show you. But the thing about it is, all you doing is showing yourself is that's gonna wear you down. And then all you're gonna do is start looking at that man or that woman and being like, yo, this shit's terrible. Dude, I don't know what else I can do. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want me talking to the other gender, because if I'm talking to the other gender, I'm trying to fuck them. You know what I mean? Because these are people that don't look at you as having standards. You know
Right.
what I mean? They look at you as you will fuck anything. And I'm like, I don't know if that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Because it
It
is it's disrespectful as fuck.
it
But it's
is.
just like
It
you
is.
don't want to accept that from a person that claims to love you. And you be like, really? Like, and then the asshole in me want to be like, man, I need to go out there and show her I got some badass bitches I can get. I'm sorry if I don't call if I'm calling you bitches just because I don't know your name, but I'm just saying it's some badass women I can get. Like, yo, I can go out there, people. You gonna think I want to fuck that? How dare you? You get what I'm saying? It's all about them seeing you for who you are and you seeing them for who they are. Stop seeing people for you seeing your past. You know what I'm saying? You seeing your fear. You need to stop seeing people like that. You got to start seeing people for who they are. And that's the only way that you're going to genuinely reach love, the love level, rather than being like, yo, I'm seeing these people because he have the potential to cheat on me. She have the potential to cheat on me or to use me. You get what I'm saying? No. If people are going to do what they're going to do anyway, I learned to live life. If a nigga going to be a goddamn bore in a china shop, allow the motherfucker in the china shop, see how much he damaged. If he start damaging shit, get the fuck out of my life. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Easy. I can get back
Listen,
money. I can get back materialistics, but I can't get back time.
I think you've been.
What? What?
You're right. You can't get back time. It's so messed up. It's like you can invest so much time in a person. And then you ever thought about I want my time back? Like I wasted my good
Mm-hmm.
years on you.
Mm-hmm.
Wasted.
You wait.
Wasted good years.
I wasted good dick on you. Okay? You see what I mean? Let me tell these women right here. I wasted so much good dick on you. Okay? Wasted so much good dick. Okay? Because when I turn 50, 60 years old, I'm gonna limp dick. Some maybe. I'm gonna have some kind of problems. I wasted so much good dick on some of you women. All right? I want my dick back.
Man,
Okay? I want all them strokes. Different strokes for different folks. I want all them strokes back. Okay?
that's
Tired of playing.
that's right. Recall.
I wasted some juices on you and some moans that I could have kept. Could have given to somebody that appreciated it. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, bro. I feel it. I so feel it, but I
All
understand.
right. So what's your final word?
My final words are know thyself, understand and embrace your triggers. They're there for a reason. Start your healing process. And if you know certain people
Mm-hmm.
or certain places and certain things trigger you, by all means avoid them until you're strong enough to deal with it without having a trigger. That's it.
Right. My final words is, I'm gonna piggyback off of yours. Um, know your triggers.
Right.
Be build yourself up to be stronger to deal with it. If you ever find yourself running from, that means you're suppressing
Mm,
situations, and that's not working on your triggers. That's
right.
running from your triggers and trying to suppress it.
Mm,
You have to literally, when you in a mode of something that when you stand in the presence of something that used to trigger you and it doesn't disturb you or bother you, that's growth. That is
Yeah.
true growth and that's true growing. That's what you're trying to achieve, not running from something every time something comes about that triggers you. You know, like I said, I used to be argumentative. That's because I was accepting all the bullshit and I was accepting my own bullshit. And I had to let my bullshit go because I had
Mm.
to realize and look in my face and say, yo, you are bullshitting. That's the hardest conversation to have. You need to have that conversation, you know, and you can't say I ain't got the time. You always got time because you always standing in your bullshit. To be honest with you, and this is my final thing, well, the longer you stand in bullshit, the more you stop smelling it. That's true.
That's true.
Thank you for tuning in.